we're going to continue. We're going to continue to look at the Haitian Revolution. The last time, Brown, could you quickly recap for us the different events that happened leading up to the enslaved rebellion?
Okay, so sir, the first event was the Makanda Revolt, which took place in 1753 to 1758. The second was the French Revolution, which took place in 1789. The third was the Revolt of the Grand Blancs, which was in 1790. The fourth one was the Revolt of the Free Colored, the mulattoes in 1790. And then the last one was the Enslaved Revolt, which took place in 1791.
All right, good. Thank you very much for that. So we are going to continue. Where is this? I just need to bring this up a little more so we can have an idea of it.
Excuse me, sir, can you please send this?
Yeah, man, I'm going to send it to you. I'm going to send it. No problem. Try not my Spanish until we have the, what do you call it again? COVID finish, so I can go back to Cuba. All right, ladies. So this is a timeline. So we are at 1791, right? So this is where what took place here. So you can continue your timeline, ladies. So we are at this part of the timeline, the enslaved rebellion in 1791. And in 1791, who we said would have started this riot right here? What was his name?
Bookman Doty.
Yes, Bookman Doty. So this would have happened in August of 1791. Now, so the French Revolution started in, you're seeing the different stuff on the, I know it's pretty small. Are you able to see it?
Yes, sir.
Good. So in 17, so we know the French Revolution happened. So the French Revolution starting at this time, 1789. Then we had in 1790, we had the Free Coloreds who had their rebellion. And if you notice on the chart right here, they put free blacks, right? They put freed blacks, but they were free colored. Same thing, free blacks, free color, depends on how people identify you. So this is what the other thing that is going to happen on the northern plantations in Haiti, in Saint-Domingue. It's not yet Haiti. I always say Haiti, but it's Saint-Domingue. On the northern plantation in 1791, Bookman and his fellow enslaved people, they are going to rise up. And immediately after Bookman rose up against the planters with the other enslaved people in 1793 in France, January the 21st, 1793 in France. What is going to take place here in France is that they are going to kill the king. So do you realize that the French Revolution, it had an impact on the Haitian Revolution and the French Revolution and the Haitian Revolution they are taking place around the same time. You understand what I just said, ladies? Hello?
Yes, sir.
So it is two revolutions. So one revolution caused another revolution to start. But while the French Revolution is going on, the Haitian Revolution is also going on at the same time. But it was the French Revolution that started the Haitian Revolution. So these enslaved people rise up. They're going to kill the king in France. And once they kill the king in France, the Spanish and the British felt that, yes, it's a long time now we want to take over France. Sorry, Haiti. It's a long time now we want to take over this colony of Saint-Domingue. Who had the entire colony first? Which European country had all of Hispaniola?
Spain.
Spain. So if the enslaved people is rioting, the Grand Blancs, they are upset, the free colored upset. What do you think the Spanish going to want to do at this time? What do you think? You think like a Spanish. Everybody in Haiti rioting. Slave, free colored, Grand Blancs, war in France. Your Spain, remember, the French would have taken the western part of Haiti. Your Spain, the French would have taken the western part of Hispaniola from you. What would you do? What are you thinking about? What would you think about at this point?
Having more security, sir, around the area, but Spain never have that. They never really took the job seriously.
They never take the job, but security from where? Where?
Sir, I don't know.
Think about it, ladies.
Sorry, they put security around the borders where they control.
They put security around the borders, yes, so they're going to put security where they control. Very good. So that is part of the answer. And also, Norman, that was what you were saying also. That is good, but the answer goes deeper than that. Because once the king was executed, Spain is going to invade Saint-Domingue. Why Spain is going to invade Saint-Domingue? They put in security around their part of the island of Hispaniola, the eastern part. But they are going to invade Saint-Domingue. Why Spain wants to invade Saint-Domingue, wanted to invade Saint-Domingue? Ladies, if Spain, let us get a map. One moment, please. I must have a map of Haiti. Yeah. So ladies, look at this map now. All of this island is called, what's the name of the island?
Sandamar.
The entire island is what?
Hispaniola.
The entire island is Hispaniola. Good. Who controlled all of this island first? Which European country?
Spain.
Spain. What happened right here is divided? Who came and captured this part of Hispaniola?
The French.
The French. What did they rename this part of Hispaniola?
Saint-Domingue.
Saint-Domingue. Very good. They took control of it in 1697. So in 1697, they took control over this part. In 1655, the British tried to take control over all of this island also, but the British was not successful. So they went and they captured Jamaica. So the French was successful and they renamed this part Saint-Domingue. Now the French Revolution is taking place. The Haitian Revolution is taking place. Spain, who controlled the eastern side of this island, decide that they are going to invade Saint-Domingue, and the British from Jamaica, they are going to invade Saint-Domingue. Why Spain wanted to invade Saint-Domingue?
To regain control of it?
Exactly. They wanted control over the entire island back again. And because there's war in France, because they killed the king in France, because of the French Revolution, because the enslaved people rioting, because the colored rioting, there's a lot of problems going on here. And so they saw it as an opportunity to take control take control of the entire island. Why the British invaded Saint-Domingue? Why you believe the British would have invaded Saint-Domingue also during the Haitian Revolution?
Since the British was like taking over like the Lesser Antilles, they wanted more land. The other colony was benefiting well from it, so they were jealous.
They were jealous. Yes, but they invaded it. You're correct. Because they wanted Saint-Domingue also. Everybody wanted Saint-Domingue. The Spanish wanted Saint-Domingue. The British wanted Saint-Domingue. And that's the reason for the invasion. So in 1793, both the British and the Spanish, they are going to invade Saint-Domingue, and the enslaved people is going to support them. Go ahead, Fame Brown.
Sir, would it also be as a result of them not being, because of the war the French Revolution that was happening at the same time, and they were a bit distracted, so their alliances they fell. So, sir, would that be also a reason why they took the advantage of the opportunity?
Yes, you're correct. That is part of it. You're correct. So we see that the French, the British, they invaded Saint-Domingue, and the enslaved people is going to support them. Toussaint is going to fight on the side of the British and the Spanish. In fact, Toussaint is going to try and get a lot of weapons from the Spanish. That's how he's going to come back to defeat them. While he's there fighting on behalf of the Spanish, he's ensuring that he's accumulating weapons. So this is happening in 1793. By August 1793, somebody read what happened here. August 1793.
French authorities in Saint-Domingue free all slaves. Toussaint Louverture changes sides to join French against British and Spanish.
Very good. Why you think originally the Spanish, this enslaved people, once Spain and Britain invaded Saint-Domingue, why the enslaved people would have supported them? What lie they would have told them? What was the lie? They must make up a story for them to support them. What was that story?
So that they'll fight on their behalf.
Yes, and if Spain or Britain should win the war, then the enslaved people would be
Free.
freed. Very good. Very good. The enslaved people would be freed. So in 1793, they said that the enslaved people, so that's one of the reasons why the enslaved people supported them. But the French people in Saint-Domingue, the government in Saint-Domingue said, listen, all slaves are freed. And then once I said all slaves are freed, then Toussaint Louverture with the other enslaved people, they are going to stop support the Spanish and the British, and they are going to join the side of the French, and they are going to fight against the British and the Spanish. And then the French in France, they are going to pass a law, and they are going to say that slavery is abolished in 1794. All right? And between 1797 and 98, Toussaint Louverture is going to control the entire island of Saint-Domingue. Not the entire island, the entire territory of Saint-Domingue. All of Saint-Domingue is going to control. However, the British forces, they are going to leave. And then in July 1801, they are going to have a new constitution. And Toussaint is going to make himself governor of Saint-Domingue. But another event that is going to happen, by 1802, the French, remember the French abolished slavery in 1794. And the French authorities earlier in Saint-Domingue abolished slavery in 1793. The reason why they abolished slavery is because the enslaved people were on the side of the Spanish and the British. And the Spanish and the British would have promised the enslaved people that if any of them wins the war, then they would free them. Now them free, the enslaved people join against the British and the Spanish. Join against the British and the Spanish with the French. But by 1802, February 1802, France is going to have a new leader who was called Napoleon Bonaparte. Now, he was considered one of the greatest warriors of all time. And he's going to send to Haiti 50 ships with 30,000 troops. And he's sending that ships because ships to Haiti with the troops to take control of Saint-Domingue from the enslaved people and Toussaint. That's one of the reasons why they are going. They're sending the ships and the soldiers. But Toussaint is not going to give up so easy. The enslaved people, they are not going to give up so easy. And so in May, so this happened in February where they send the ships. In in February they send the ships. Then May 1802, the French controlled and established different leaders across Saint-Domingue. And in 1802, they are going to re-establish slavery because they want to put back France. They want to put back Haiti under the system of slavery. But the people of Haiti said no, because obviously, if we look at it, ladies, put fun and joke aside, the only reason why they abolished slavery here was because the enslaved people joined the side of the Spanish and the British when they invaded. And if the enslaved people had continued to join the side of the Spanish and the British, then the Spanish and British would have taken control over Saint-Domingue. In 1802, late May 1802, they are going to capture Toussaint and they are going to deport him to France. That's how Toussaint Louverture was deported and he died in 1803. But while the fight was going on here, because Toussaint was, if we look at the revolution, the Haitian Revolution, Toussaint Louverture continued to fight. He was very determined because even when the French sent troops in to re-establish slavery and to take control over the colony, Toussaint still continued to fight. And the only way they were able to beat Toussaint Louverture was arresting him and sending him to France, where they killed him. They killed him in France. But something is going to happen, continue to happen. Although they captured Toussaint, Toussaint's second in control, which is Dessalines and Henri Christophe. So these are his two second, John Dessalines and Henri Christophe, two of Toussaint's generals. They are going to continue to fight. They are not going to say, oh, Toussaint gone to France. They captured Toussaint, so they're going to capture us soon. They did not. They continue to fight. And when they continue to fight, the French the French people, they are going to leave. They're going to leave Saint-Domingue. And in 1801, the Haitian, in 1804, Dessalines is going to declare Haiti independence. The 1st of January, 1807, he's going to declare Haiti independent. And he's going to call himself Empire of Haiti, Dessalines. Ladies, are we following what is going on? And this was the end of the Haitian Revolution. Once Haiti got their independence and their full freedom, full independence from France, full freedom from slavery, Haiti is now going to be the first country black country in the Western Hemisphere to be independent. And the first country to abolish slavery. All right, ladies? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
You have a clearer understanding of the events that happened during the Haitian Revolution?
Yes, sir.
Good, good. Now, we know for sure that they were successful. The enslaved people in Saint-Domingue, they were successful. Not only that, ladies, I need to tell you something else. Once they got their independence, well, they didn't got they fought for their independence. They are going to change the name of the country from Saint-Domingue to Haiti. And they are going to rip the white out of the flag. So let us see if I can show you a Haitian flag. I think I just had one up. Yes. Here. So this is the Haitian. So we know the flag of France. So France flag has red, blue, and white. What they are going to do is that they are going to rip the white out of the flag. And they are going to have a new flag. So the flag was just blue and red. So three things happened in 1804. What are the three things? The first, who declared Haiti independence? Four things actually happened. The first one is what?
The Declaration of Independence by John Dessalines.
Very good. The second thing, what Dessalines is going to do? What about the name?
Oh, sir, switch the name from Saint Domingue to Haiti.
Very good. Then after that, what he's going to do when it comes to the flag?
Take off the white out of the flag.
Very good, very good. So that is what and he's going to make himself. And then the last one is that Haiti is going to be freed. So he's going to pass a law and he's going to say that once you're free, once you're a black person and you enter Haiti, you're freed. So if you come, a lot of Jamaican enslaved people used to run to Haiti because once they reached to Haiti, they were freed. People from all over the Caribbean used to try to go to Haiti because Haiti was a free country. All right, you see how things change now? Everybody treats Haitians badly. However, they were a saving grace. Now, ladies, why they were able to be successful? Why they were able to be successful? One of the reasons why they were able to be successful is when we look at the demography. Demography, Saint-Domingue had more blacks than whites. And we have seen that level of success or the numerical superiority that once the French, once the British and the Spanish came and the French joined them, immediately the government in Saint-Domingue and France immediately abolished slavery to appease the Africans. And so one of the reasons for the success of the Haitian Revolution is that they had a lot of African-born enslaved people. The enslaved people who were actually born in Africa, and they came with their military techniques. That's the reason why they were successful. Another reason was the role of diseases. Now, the French army and the British army, along with the Spanish army, they suffered a lot of diseases. They suffered from malaria and yellow fever. So let's go back to the timeline right here. So if we look at our timeline, ladies, when Dessalines, where it is, when Napoleon sent Leclerc in 1802, because Leclerc was the leader of the army, to take control of Haiti back again and to reestablish slavery. Once their 30,000 soldiers came, most of them were not immune to malaria and yellow fever. And so malaria and yellow fever is going to take full blown over them. And they are going to die. In fact, Leclerc, who was the brother-in-law of Napoleon, and who was also the leader of the 30,000 troops, died from yellow fever. Another reason for the success was that the soldiers, the European soldiers, did not have any knowledge of the terrain of Haiti. And another reason for the success, why the enslaved people were able to be successful, was because of the division in the society. One, division, because when you are discussing division, you have to discuss it good. One, Grand Blancs against Petit Blancs and France. Petit Blancs against Grand Blancs and colored. Colored against Grand Blancs and Petit Blancs. Enslaved Africans against Grand Blancs, Petit Blancs, colored. A lot of division in the society. And it was because of the division in the society why because of the division in the society, why Spain and Britain felt like they had the right to invade. It was the perfect time to invade and take over the colony. So the division in the society was a reason for the success of the Haitian Revolution. It gave them the reason to be successful because everybody is divided against each other. And then also Toussaint had access to guns. How he got access to guns? And we have to look now at the timeline again. When the Spanish and the British invaded Saint-Domingue, because once the king died in France, they invade, the Spanish and the British said, yes, we can take over that place. Toussaint was fighting on the side of the Spanish and the British. And as a result of that, while he was fighting, he was getting guns and ammunition. So all the guns and ammunition that he accumulated here, when they sent the troops to restore slavery and to take control of the colony in 1802, Toussaint would have already accumulated those weapons. So European weapons were not he used the same European weapons to defeat them. So he had access to guns. And then, ladies, we cannot underestimate the leadership of Toussaint Louverture. So Toussaint Louverture, he trained the enslaved people in military tactics, especially guerrilla warfare. He supplied the enslaved people with guns, over 30,000 guns that he would have received from the Spanish and the British, right? And also, when he's attacking the British and the French and all the persons against him, he attacked them during the wet season, the rainy time. What come out a lot during the rainy time? What bite you up a lot?
Mosquitoes.
Mosquitoes. And mosquitoes are the carriers of yellow fever and malaria. So he was very, very skillful, because he said, listen, if I know that these white people, they are coming from Europe, they don't have any immunity to yellow fever and malaria. And so guess what? If we fight during the wet season, mosquitoes are going to kill them. And so it was brilliant to fight with them during the wet season. And then also he chose very good leaders as his assistant generals, Henri Christophe and John Jacques Dessalines, very good leaders. They supported him. So Toussaint Louverture was very, very skillful, and he was responsible for the success of the Haitian Revolution. Even though that they captured him and killed him, but Henri Christophe and Dessalines continued the fight. So ladies, we know for sure the reasons for the success. And ladies, you must know the reasons for the success of the Haitian Revolution. You must be able to develop at least 3 reasons. Sometimes they can ask you a question and say, what are the reasons for the success of the Haitian Revolution? Or they can ask you the role Toussaint played in the Haitian Revolution. Ensure that you know it. But ladies, let us look at some negative effects of the Haitian Revolution on Haiti. Right? Negative effects. Now, when we are doing our essays and they ask you about the negative effects of the Haitian Revolution, you can divide it into themes. So you can talk about social effects, political effects, and economic effects. What are some of the social effects? One, a lot of persons died. Over 60,000 blacks died, and over 1,000 whites died. The population reduced. Once Haiti is now freed, there are going to be tension between the coloreds and the blacks. And a lot of whites, they are going to migrate, leave Haiti, and they are, because they said, listen, I'm not staying in this place that is controlled by a white country, black people. And they went to places like Jamaica, Cuba, Trinidad, and the Leeward Islands. Social effects, negative. Once the enslaved people, the whites leaving, they are going to take with them money, and they are going to talk a lot of bad things about the new government in Haiti? What are some of the negative political effects? There are going to be division in Haiti. In 1807, so the revolution stopped in, Haitian Revolution stopped in 1804. And by 1807, you had two leaders in Haiti, Alexander Pétion and Henry Christophe. And Alexander Pétion was a colored and Henry Christophe was a black man. And so the colored said, I don't want to be ruled by the blacks. And the blacks said, we don't want to be ruled by the colored. So Haiti in 1807 is going to be divided. So this is going to be the line here. The north is going to be the part for the blacks, and the south is going to be the part for the colored. In fact, to leave the north from the south to the north, you have to have passport and all different type of things. So Haiti was divided. But in 1820, Boya is going to reunite Haiti. Now, a lot of different things that they are going to do in Haiti. Even up until today, they're killing the leaders in Haiti. The political leaders in Haiti. Every minute they kill the political leaders. And so Dessalines had to fled to Jamaica because he feared that he was going to be killed. Same thing with Boya. Economic effects. In 1820, Boya is going to agree to pay France. France is going to say, you think I forget about the fact that I lose all my enslaved people, property and wealth? You must pay me money. So France, Haiti now must pay France money because for the loss of their enslaved people, they call it reparation. So Haiti cannot prosper because all the money that they are making, they have to give it to France because France, you need to pay me for all the things that I lost. You run us out, all the white people, you run us out of Haiti and you take control. So you need to pay us back. And so up until recently, 2010, Haiti was still paying France reparation. Can you imagine? And then other countries said that, listen, we are not going to trade with any black country. United States and France said, we are not trading with any black country. So if nobody's trading with you, you have to pay France reparation money for all the loss that they had. The production is going to decline. Export is going to decline. During the war, over 1,200 coffee estates were destroyed and over 200 sugar plantations destroyed. So we are seeing that the Haitian Revolution had some negative effects on Haiti. What were some of the positive effects? What were some of the positive effects? They had a revolution. What were some of the positive effects? Come on, ladies. What positive came out of the Haitian Revolution?
Sir, they were freed. The
They
enslaved
got
were
very good. They got the freedom. Not only that the enslaved people got their freedom, but they got their independence. So positive effects. Social slavery was abolished. So they were no longer under the Code Nor. Africans were no longer subordinate to whites. They got their independence. They renamed their country. They got their a new flag. They were the first Black country in the Western Hemisphere. And economic effects are the leaders are going to divide the lands in very small portion to give to the Blacks. Positive effects. Now, the Haitian Revolution not going to have positive effects on, negative or positive effects on Haiti, but it's also going to influence the entire Caribbean. What were some of the influence? One, inspiration. The Haitian Revolution is going to inspire other Caribbean countries with African to riot and to fight against slavery. In Jamaica, the Second Maroon War that we're going to learn about was inspired because of the Haitian Revolution. In Barbados, a revolt take place where Nanny Grigg, in starting the revolt, she said she told the enslaved people that, listen, we need to fight against the whites, because if we fight against the whites, the people of Haiti are going to come and assist us. Nanny Grigg. And so it inspired other people to riot. Another effect is that a lot of whites and coloreds, they are going to migrate to other parts of the Caribbean. So they're going to migrate to the Leeward Islands, Puerto Rico, Trinidad, Jamaica, Cuba. So the whites from Haiti migrate and the colored, they left. And remember that, especially for Jamaica, Jamaica was not a Roman Catholic country. It was Anglican because they were British, but the French were Roman Catholic. And so in the Caribbean, in the British Islands, places like Jamaica, you're going to have a lot of Haitians who are going to come to the white Haitians now, not the blacks, the whites and the coloreds. They are going to come to Jamaica and they are going to open Catholic churches in places like Above Rocks, Cassava Peace. You know that church at Matilda's Corner, St. Peter and Paul? Anybody know St. Peter and Paul? Who knows
Yes,
St. Peter and Paul Prep School? Who knows Campion College?
Me, sir.
So you know, you see all of that area, the Haitians who were Catholics bought all of that land, and it was in the hands of the Catholic Church. And so they established churches there. Other effects is that, one, when the Haitians they come to the other Caribbean countries, places like Guadeloupe and Martinique, they are going to trade more with US and, well, the United States. The French planters from Haiti, they are going to establish coffee plantations in places Jamaica, Trinidad, and Cuba. And a negative effects of the Haitian Revolution is that the whites are going to be so fearful that they are going to increase control over the enslaved people in the other islands. And they are going to speak ill about Haiti. And they said, we don't want to be like Haiti. Those were some of the negative, well, that was a negative effect on the Caribbean of the Haitian Revolution. So it had both positive and it had both negative. Key leaders in the Haitian Revolution. We talk about Henri Christophe. So we talk about, what's his name again? Toussaint Louverture. Some of the other leaders, Henri Christophe, they said he was born in Grenada. He was a military leader. He supported Toussaint. He fought in the battles. Same thing with Dessalines. He was a military leader. He supported Toussaint, fought in the battle, declared Haiti independence, renamed the territory from Saint-Domingue to Haiti, removed the white from the colored flags. He wrote the Haitian Constitution. The Constitution is the new rule that is going to govern Haiti. All right, ladies? Are we now clear when it comes to the Haitian Revolution?
Yes, sir.
So we know the causes of the Haitian Revolution. We know the different events that happen. We also know for the Haitian Revolution, the success of the Haitian Revolution, why it was successful. We know the positive and the negative effects on Haiti, and we know the effects on the Caribbean. All right? And I want you to continue to read about the Haitian Revolution. Read about the Haitian Revolution because your SBA topic is going to be on the Haitian Revolution. That's what you're going to get your SBA on. And in the upcoming week, by next week, I will send to you your SBA topics. And you're going to start to do your SBA on the Haitian Revolution. In fact, your SBA is going to do the first week in, not the first week, the last week in September. Your first draft of your SBA is going to due at that time. Ladies, thank you very, very much.
Excuse me, sir. Is the SBA going to be group?
Not group SBA, individual. Individual SBA. All right. So ladies, see you again on Monday.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Bye, sir.